Hello and welcome to this video. This is Natasha and today I want to talk to you about the reason why people suffer and how to change suffering. So if you struggle with certain aspects in your life, then perhaps this video can help you. You see, suffering happens when we people resist life, when we are faced with certain life circumstances which go in a totally different direction than what we have expected, and when we have the idea that we have zero control to change things. So when we refuse to accept the life circumstances, oftentimes we protest, consciously or unconsciously, and this can cause us pain. Know that protest is a very normal, natural human reaction for us people when we are faced with difficulties or when we feel forced to change. Because change is very difficult for us people. The greatest tendency in human beings is to keep ourselves safe and also to stay loyal to our old identity. So when we are faced with change, our old identity is going to protest. That's why people protest and they refuse to accept the new life conditions. I have protested for far too long before I have decided to take my place and to take responsibility about everything what happens in my life. Since I have understood that this kind of protest is slowing me down on my way towards my goals and also is hurting my well-being, I have decided not to protest anymore, but just to say yes to everything what shows on my way and also simply to do the work which has to be done. I will share with you a couple of examples from my own life so that you can understand this perhaps better. You see, when I came to live to the Netherlands from Macedonia, my native country, I had to start my life from scratch. I had to learn the language, I had to learn the culture, I had to learn my new profession. So next to this, I had to do my driving license again, because I'm coming from a country which is outside of the European Union. My driving license was not accepted. At that time, I felt this as injustice. Therefore, I was protesting for 3 months and I was refusing to do the work. When I have realized that I am slowing myself down towards my goals and I am limiting my freedom in this way, I have simply decided just to do the work, and within 3 months, when I made the decision, I got my driving license. Another example, when I started my business, I also had too much to do. I had to learn how to build up my website, how to do my finances, how to do my administration, how to implement the online marketing, and things were simply too much for me. All was new and I felt fully overwhelmed. So my form of protest was procrastination. Because when people feel overwhelmed, that can cause inaction. But at that time I was not aware about that. Now I know that this is a huge energy leak and I know how to do the things one step at a time. So protest can have many forms. Some people get angry, they explode on the outside or on the inside. Some people cry and complain, others procrastinate or they deny things, or some people start to do some behaviors which give them pleasure on short term. So everybody is unique and different in this aspect. It took also a while for me before I have learned not to see all of these things as a huge mountain in front of me, but to put myself on the top of that mountain and to take ownership over my mountain and also over my own life. So at this stage of my development, I simply say yes to everything what life brings my way, and I simply do the work which has to be done. I don't react anymore from emotions, because that is a child reaction. And I have also understood that life is happening for us and not to us. This means that everything what happens to us has a message for us, has a lesson for us. And by learning that lesson and doing the work, we are growing to the next level of our development. And I also wish for you that you can achieve your goals with less energy and with less struggle. So know that this form of suffering and this form of protest are costing us energy, which we need to use to build up on our life and not to break it down. So these behaviors are energy leaks which are stopping us from moving forward. I have built a full course on how to close the energy leaks so that I can help people to use their energy optimally towards their goals, so that they can create their most beautiful life and enjoy happy relationships. People are loving my course because they grow exponentially in their personal power, while they are creating their life on their own values and norms. And this gives them a tremendous sense of freedom, of joy and fulfillment in their life. And on this way they build a strong self-esteem. Would you love to know more? Then I would love to invite you for a free initial consultation in which we can discuss how we can work together. If you have questions, feel free to send them to me. I would love to answer them for you. Thank you for watching this video. All the best and take care. Bye bye.